Hi there. This is the second question of section 3.30. You have 4 questions on a page, and I just split them up so it'd be easier for me to do. All right, so there are 105 adults were asked whether they studied French, Spanish, or Japanese in school. Here are the results. Okay, so right now, even if it didn't say 3-step practice, I know I'm going to have 3 circles. My screen back a little bit for us. All right, so we got French, Spanish, and Japanese. There, so you can see. All right. All right. Now, first of all, this makes me really happy. It says 5 are taking all 3. So the general rule is if you know the center number, usually everything else becomes easier. Before we go any further, this is French and Spanish. This is Spanish and Japanese. And this is French and Japanese. I just like, I don't know, it feels like it saves me time. All right. So the next thing it says, 9 have studied both Japanese and French. So I need Japanese and French. And it says 9. But because it doesn't include the word only, that means that this section, which is the overlap between Japanese and French, has to have a grand total of 9 in it. But we already counted 5. So I'm going to subtract 5. There we go. So there's 4 in there. Check. And it says 11 have studied both Japanese and Spanish. So same idea. There's 11 in this area. Oops. But exactly, we already counted 5. Okay. And it says 24 have studied both Spanish and French. All right, so 24 goes here. I'm enjoying using my markers today. So that means in this area, there needs to be 24, but we already counted 5. And then I'm going to do that because those are numbers that I'm confident in now. All right, so we got that. Then it says 52 have studied French. Okay, well, 52 minus, I could do the 20. Yeah, you know what? I'm not confident enough to say to use the 24 and the 9 and stuff. I'm going to use these because these numbers that I've made in green are for each little section. So then I know I'm good. So I think if I use the 24 and the 9, I'd be subtracting 5 twice, and that's going to mess me up. So minus 19 from here, minus. So the 19 are the people that just studied French and Spanish. The 5 are the people who studied all 3 languages. And then we have 4 that studied French and Japanese. So let's do that now. 52 minus 19. gives me 24. Oops. That just studied French. Check. And it says 63 did Spanish. So pause the video, do exactly what I just did, except for Spanish. All right, so we're going to subtract 19 from here. These are the people who studied French and Spanish. We're going to subtract 5 because we counted 5 here, the 5 that studied them all. And we're going to subtract 6 for the people that studied Spanish and Japanese. This would be cooler if I had it on screen. 33. So there are 33 people that did Spanish. And the last one down here is Japanese. So this whole circle has to total to 25, but I've already counted some people. So I'm going to take away those 4 that studied French and Japanese, and these 5 that studied both, and these 6 that studied Spanish and Japanese. And that gives me 10. Now, I'm a little paranoid before, there's a whole bunch of questions here. Before I do them, I just want to check that my math works out. So I'm going to do my check. Now, the question doesn't explicitly say there's anybody that didn't take any languages at all. Let's see how we do. 4, 19, 33, and then 4 and 5, 6, and 10. Now, I'm hoping that that's going to add up to 100. 4 plus 19 plus 4. 24, 19, 30, 4, 5, and 16. All right. So that really just makes me think I screwed up my math somewhere along the way. All right. I'm hoping that you were yelling at me when I screwed up. Here we go again. I were taking all 3. Check it out. This is my Papermate erasable gel. Much better than those other ones I had. All right, so we got the 5, check. 9 have studied both Japanese and French. So Japanese and French, there's 9 minus 5, that's my 4, check. 11 have studied Spanish, Japanese, and Spanish. 11 minus 5, 6, check. Okay. 24 have studied Spanish and French. 24 minus 5, 18. So check. Now, does 52 have studied French? So 52 minus 19 minus 5 minus 4. 52 minus 19 minus 5 minus 4. right? That total, oh, I lied. That total should have been 105. Maybe there's 4 people that didn't take a language. So I'm not as far out as I thought, but I'm going to finish checking my math anyway. So 63 have studied Spanish. So minus the 19 that also took French, minus the 5 that took all, minus the 6 there. 19 minus 5 minus 6. 52. All right, last one. 25 have studied Japanese. 25 minus 4 minus 5 minus 6. I think that might 25 minus 4 minus 5. Did more around. That's 10. Okay. All right, I have double checked my math. So that must mean if there's 101 in my circle, there must be 4 people. Oops, don't circle it. I guess you could, but for not Japanese, French, or Spanish. All right, we did our Venn diagram. How many have studied Spanish, but not French? So here's my Spanish circle. I don't want to include the French people. So that would be 33 that did Spanish only, and 6 that did Spanish and Japanese. I'm going to put B here. I'm going to write 33 plus 6 is 39. That way, later on, I know where these answers came from. How many have studied Japanese, but not French? All right, here's my Japanese, but not French. So I have 10 that studied just Japanese, and I have 6 that studied Spanish and Japanese. Sorry. How many have studied both French and Spanish? All right, so here's French, here's Spanish. So that's this overlap intersection here. And we know it's 24 because, oh, yes, it's right there. I had to read the question. Now we have French or Spanish. Basically, we need everybody in the French circle, everybody in the Spanish circle. So 24 people took just French, plus 4 that took French and Japanese, plus 19 that took French and Spanish at the same time, plus 5 that took all 3, plus 33 that took just Spanish, plus 6. Almost everybody. That's going to be 91. Yeah. How many students have studied both French and Spanish, but not Japanese? So here's our French and Spanish, but we don't want to include the Japanese part. So thank you. And there we go. So it's important to check your math. Okay. So when I first saw that, I was uptight. Well, I had forgotten the question. I thought it was supposed to be 100 in total. So I was really panicking that I had an extra 1 in there because there's no way that your total should ever be bigger than the actual number of students, right? But once I realized that it was 105 students, and that just meant, I'm sure, that 4 students didn't take Japanese, French, or Spanish. There we go. So always check your numbers, make sure it works. Have a lovely day.